Hi, it's Tom. I talked to friends of David Goldberg, and I suggested them, hey, let's put together a video series, some way that I can communicate what I know and my knowledge, and give people steps and a way out, and help them out. And we decided upon we're going to do a video series. I told them I want it to be titled USA Genocide 2021 to 2025. And I think it'll be about 5 or 10 videos, and we're just going to walk through everything you need to know to get out, save your family, and get out of the control grid and prepare for the economic collapse that's coming to the Northern Hemisphere. Now, I say USA genocide, it really is. It's Canada, it's Western Europe, China. This is where they're going to institute the control grid. It's the Northern Hemisphere. It's where they got the underground bases. It's where they've got all the surveillance grid in place. It's where how do I put it? The whole world's going to change. And they've been planning this for decades, and you don't know about it because they control all of the YouTubers out there that you listen to, whether it's patriotic channels, QAnon, pro-Trump, Christian channels. You're not hearing about any of this. You're hearing about some of it, but that's the whole point of disinfo. Give you a little truth and give you some misdirection. That's why you don't hear about what I'm talking about. You don't hear about Project Zyphr. You don't hear about Project Pogo. You don't hear about the TTIP program. You don't hear about what their plans are for the underground bases. You don't hear about the fact that they're going to take 12 to 15 million American patriots, Christians, God-fearing people who love America, atheists, agnostics too, anybody who's awake and aware, particularly of the Israel question, particularly if you have that knowledge. That's what David talked about in his final video. I hope you listen to it. They want you out of the picture. So they're going to take you underground to the underground bases. They're going to eliminate some of those people too, but the main plan is to take them to the underground bases. They're going to get rid of 12 to 15 million of these Americans. And they've already done 100,000 of them are gone. I talked about that in the last video too. That's part of Project Zyphr. There's a bigger project going on here. I don't know the name of that project, but I have hints. I have signs. I have my military insider giving me ideas of what they're doing. There's a bigger project for everybody else who's going to be above ground, 340 million Americans that are left. When this economic collapse happens, everybody's going to line up at the military garrisons, at the military outposts to get food, and they are going to be microchipped. Not you, not me, because we're not part of the average American. We're different. We're informed. We're awake. We're the people that are going to put us down in the underground bases. Not me, because I left. But for everybody else, you guys are going underground. But for everybody else up top, above ground, there's another plan for them, and that is they're going to take the microchip during this economic calamity. Now, there's going to be an economic rebirth after that, after 2025. And preceding that a little bit, the economy in America will recover. They're not going to destroy the country, but this is a transition to a new world. And it is a world that is pure hell. So I'm trying to paint a picture here for you so you understand what's really going on. There are disinfo channels. Almost every single one of them is controlled. Christian channels, pro-Trump, QAnon, patriotic, prepper channels, they're all telling you the same thing. They're all telling you the same thing. What's that? Stay in the United States. Remain a sitting duck. Don't go anywhere, because somehow your guns are going to save you. They're going to protect you. And if they don't, well, you'll go to heaven if you die. That's the message. And that is total deception, that you are being completely deceived. So that's part of the project. It's part of Project Pogo. It's, get all these disinfo channels out there pumping Americans full of this garbage about how, stay here, prep, get your guns, defend the homeland. Total garbage. That's like saying stay and defend Sodom and Gomorrah. There's nothing to save. America is gone. And you are either going to be dead or you're going to be in the underground base when this is all said and done, because they're going to send a drone to your home. It's going to drill a little hole in the window. It's going to fly into your house. It's going to shoot a little dart into you and your family while you're sleeping. And it's going to send a little burst of a compound called scopolamine right into your face. Scopolamine right into your face. And it's going to send out some electronic signals, and it's all going to work together in unison, and you're going to rise right up out of your bed in a hypnotic state, and you're going to walk right out of your home with your family of your own will while you're in a hypnotic state with a little drone flying above your head controlling you, and you're going to walk right into a van at night, a bus waiting for you. And you're going to get in that van or that bus calmly, quietly, of your own free will, or so it would appear, and they're going to drive you to the underground base, and they're going to put you in a cage, and then they're going to remove your limbs one by one very slowly without anesthesia, and they're going to extract the adrenochrome that your body creates during that trauma. If you don't know what adrenochrome is, I instructed the friends of David Goldberg to put up a screen that I took, and it should be on the screen right now. That's adrenochrome. That is basically the nectar of these Satanists and the elites, and they want more of it. They're going to take 12 to 15 million of you, patriots, Christians, anybody who's awake and aware. They know who you are through the TTID program. You can't hide. The American surveillance grid is bar none, the most advanced in the world. They know everything you're doing. They know what you're thinking, breathing, eating. They know where you are at all times. They are going to put you down there. They're going to take your limbs off one by one. They're going to extract the adrenochrome. This is a compound that's produced by your body under trauma. Do you understand what I just said? When you have physical trauma, your body produces this hormone called adrenochrome. And the elites, the nectar of the elites, and the only way to get it is to traumatize a human being physically. And that's what they're going to do to you down there underground. You have underground bases all over the country, and I'll talk more about that. They're going to extract this, and then they're going to traumatize you emotionally, mentally, physically, forever. Because they have machines that can keep you alive for hundreds of years, thousands of years. Why would they want to do all that? Because they want to create hell on earth. Because they know you have an escape plan, and that is to die and go to heaven. Do you think they're stupid? Do you think they didn't figure that one out? You don't get out that easy. They realize, you know what? All these Christians believe they're going to go to heaven if we get to them. We're not going to give them that opportunity. We're going to put them underground in a cage. We're going to keep them alive. We have the technology to do it. And we're going to keep them alive as long as we can. It could be 1,000 years. And the rapture doctrine is a false doctrine. Get the rapture out of your mind. It's not biblical. Now, I'm a Christian. I'm not going to preach to you. If you're an agnostic and atheist listening right now, all of this applies to you. Why does it apply to you? Because the elites, the people in a little country over in the Middle East who I shall not name, but you can figure out who that is, they believe this. So if you're an atheist and agnostic and you don't believe in any of the so-called woo-woo or the religion aspect of it, that's fine. But they believe it. The elites believe in it. They're satanic. They believe it. So if you don't believe it, it's irrelevant. They're going to implement these things anyway. And you are going to be a target, and you're going to go to the underground base too. They're targeting anybody who has any kind of spiritual awareness, any kind of awareness of what's going on. Doesn't matter if you're Christian or not. The Christians are going to be a main target. That's what's going to happen to the 12 to 15 million Americans that are awake and aware that they've been using Project Pogo and the TTID program to identify. Your guns aren't going to save you. Your bug out location isn't going to save you. Your guns are sticks. They have no interest in banning guns. In fact, they wanted to encourage Americans to buy guns because it is a false sense of security. If they wanted to ban guns, they would have been gone a long time ago. They initially wanted to ban them decades ago until they realized our technology is advancing to the point that the guns don't pose any threat to what we're trying to do. Do you understand? The technology is advancing to the point that the Americans and their guns, that ain't going to stop us. How is your gun going to stop a little drone that drills a hole into your window and flies in, shoots a puff of scopolamine into your face, and then electronically hypnotizes you to walk out of your house? How's a gun going to work? Not a single shot's going to be fired through that entire scenario. They know that. But they also know this: if we can get all the Americans deceived and believing that the guns can protect them, and believing if they go out in a blaze of glory, they're going straight to heaven, now we have total control. So instead of them taking the guns, there's more guns in America than ever before. People have more guns in their homes than ever before. Nobody's taking the guns. They could have. They don't want to. They want you to believe that your guns are going to protect you and that you're going to stay put in the American control grid and not leave. The last thing they want is for you to do what I did with my family and get out. That's the last thing they want. That's why every disinfo channel, every fake patriot channel is telling you to stay put like a sitting duck, because you're going to end up underground, tortured for 1,000 years. I hope that paints a picture of what's happening. I'm here to help you. I'm here to help. So I'm going to go ahead and move on to the Q&A part of this. That's my monologue. Now we're going to move on to Q&A, and at the end of this video, I'm going to give you a quiz so I can help you get out of this mess. But you need to be ready with the answers about your personal financial situation and the steps you're willing to take to save your family. That's what you need to think about. We'll move on to the Q&A part. I'm just going to go, I sorted the comments here on the video, and I'm going to sort it by newest comments first. And I'm just going to go one by one through all the comments and different questions people had and try to address a lot of these concerns. Because I want to help people. I want to help the people that want to be helped. The people that don't want to be helped, that can't be reached, that are deceived, and that are lost, nothing I can do for them. And I'm just going to ignore them because Satan has a grip on this country that is so far beyond anything that you can't save it. Why do you want to save? Why do you want to save something that Satan controls? You ask yourself that if you're a Christian. So here we go. What does Zyphr stand for? I don't know what Zyphr stands for. I do not have the answer to that one. Kyle says, if the documents would open people's eyes, just release them. According to what you're saying, they're going to kill you. Okay, first, let's break that down. Number one, just release them. Well, the channel would be shut down in about 2 seconds if they released them. So how's that going to work out, Kyle? They're going to release the documents, like 5 people are going to see them, and then they're going to delete the whole channel, and you'll never see the documents again. Then they're going to move on the people of the Friends of David Goldberg. They know they have the documents. They know who these people are. They know their names. They know their addresses. They know where they live. Right now, it's kind of a stalemate. Right now, there's kind of a truce between the Friends of David Goldberg and their lawyers and some of the authorities they're in contact with. They've basically been told, don't release them and we'll leave you alone, but if you release them, we're going to move on you. So releasing them doesn't really accomplish much. It just means the channel gets shut down and you'll never hear about it again. Releasing these things is really not the answer. If we could get a YouTube channel with a couple of million subscribers or a major media figure or WikiLeaks to do it, then now you're talking. Now we're talking. But we're not there right now. I've talked to Friends of David Goldberg, and they are telling me we just don't have anybody backing us up right now. We really can't move forward. So, Kyle, if you can figure out how to get it on Fox News or WikiLeaks or something high profile, then I'm all for releasing them. And then he says, well, they're going to kill you regardless. No, they're not going to kill me. They're not going to kill my family. I've taken the steps to protect myself and my family. We're going to be okay. I have high confidence that we're going to be okay because we're out of the whole system. We're out. We left. We're in a place where the surveillance grid does not exist, the underground bases don't exist, where I'm not their focus right now. People down here where I'm at, we're not part of the focus. So we do feel good, and I don't want to die. And I don't want to be taken to these underground bases and tortured. So no, I'm not going to risk everything just to have the friends of David Goldberg release the dog. I told them not to do it. Because the whole channel is going to get shut down in 5 minutes. I mean, how is that a solution? What we want is to get this on a major YouTube channel. I've been talking to them about that too. Can we get it on TV? Can we get some media people? Can we get WikiLeaks? They've been looking into it, but they're hitting a stone wall. They're hitting a wall. So I'm glad I could answer that for you. Let's move on. Kyle says again, why aren't people in the military fighting back against this if they know it's happening? First of all, they don't know it's happening. They've been so drugged up with vaccines, they're so mind controlled, I wouldn't expect them to really be aware or ready mentally to deal with this, Kyle. Now he says they fly overseas to risk their lives. Why won't they fight the government? Kyle, whoa. The military is not going to defend this country. They're not going to save you, and they're not going to stop this. The people in the military are totally full of vaccines. They're totally mind controlled. So I know many of them are good people, but they're not up on this. They're not aware. They're not ready to mentally deal with it when it goes down. They're going to take orders, Kyle. They're going to set up military garrisons. They're going to pass out rations. They're going to chip people with the RFID chips and the other chips they've got ready. They're going to give people vaccines. And they're going to think that they're doing the right thing, but they're not going to fight any of this. They're so mentally conditioned and brainwashed, they're not prepared to know the truth and to be ready, Kyle. A handful of them are. I mean, my military source is, we're talking like 10 or 20 people out of hundreds and hundreds of thousands of military guys. That's not enough, Kyle. It's not enough. So I hope that answered your question. I want to move on down here. Bruin says, thank you, Tom. I'm a fighter. I've been my whole life on this planet. I will not run and hide. If it's your time to go, then it's your time. Well, I wish that was true, but they've taken steps to make sure that that's not going to happen. They're going to take you underground. They're going to put you in a cage. They're going to take your limbs off without anesthesia. They're going to hook you up to a machine that's going to keep you alive. They're going to torture you mentally, physically, and emotionally for as long as they can, and that could be hundreds of years. You think they didn't have a contingency plan for your way of getting out of this? Yeah, they know that death is the easy way out. They're not going to let that happen. Now, that doesn't mean they're not going to kill people. They are killing people. They are going to kill some people for various reasons, for their own reasons. But the bigger plan is the vast majority of American patriots and Christians, free-thinking people that love this country, they're going to keep you alive. And they're going to torture you. And they're going to do things to you beyond your comprehension. That's why I'm telling you, you better take action and listen to what I'm telling you. They also want to harvest your adrenochrome. Adrenochrome is a compound that is excreted by the human body during extreme times of stress and fear, and it's something very important to them. I just searched adrenochrome on a search engine called DuckDuckGo.com. Type it in. It's spelled ANDRENOCHROME. You're going to see the Wikipedia entry at the top, and then you're going to see the second article is titled Adrenochrome, the Secret Immortality Serum All the Illuminati Use. I want you to read that article. It's at disclose.tv. This is very important to the elites and why they want to take you underground and keep you alive. It's also why they want to remove your limbs without anesthesia. They're going to put you in a state of unbelievable fear and torture repeatedly because it is the only way to create adrenochrome, and it's the only way the human body produces it. I'm going to move on down here. Graham says, quit all your social accounts. Tell your family you'll never be on Facebook, Twitter, or Instagram again. Now, he's referencing the AI program where they're going to replicate you after they take you out and remove you from society. You know, that's decent advice, but they can also replicate a phone call. Are you never going to use the phone again? Or you're never going to use Facebook. You're never going to use Twitter. You're never going to use Instagram. You're never going to use YouTube. You're never going to use a phone again the rest of your life. That's a tall order. Most people are not going to be able to do that. The AI program is very hard to escape in the United States. They're ready to go. So it's good advice, Graham, and I like it, but just think about the logistics of that. You pretty much have to go live in a cave, and they're still going to find you, and they're still going to know where you are. The best thing to do is be aware. It's good to tell people, it's good to tell your friends and family, hey, be aware of the AI program. Tell them about the video. Tell them about this channel. Tell them about what Tom's saying. Tell them about what David said. Tell them about what happened to David. Tell them about the friends of David Goldberg and how they're trying to get the information out. If you can do that and take those steps, you're going to be ahead of everybody else. But it's not foolproof. You really cannot escape the grid in America. I hope that answered your question, and we'll move on now. News and Views today said, why is New Zealand safe, but Australia is not safe? Is it the Chinese that are going to be allowed to invade and take over Australia? That is partly true. Now, parts of Australia are safe. Parts of Australia are safe. Tasmania is safe. But Australia is going to be taken over by the Chinese. This guy is absolutely correct. It's not one of the best places to go, but it is in part. If I was going to go somewhere and I had no other option, I would certainly go there. And when I say parts of Australia, I mean, obviously, Sydney, you don't want to be there. You don't want to be in Melbourne. Those cities are too controlled. They have too much surveillance grid there. You do want to be in the outback. And Tasmania is safe. Tasmania is one of the places that the elites are going to go. There's no underground bases there. There's not a surveillance grid there. You can pretty safely disappear there. But you need money. It is fairly expensive to live in Australia. So, again, that's something we're going to talk about at the end of the video. I hope that answered your question. We're going to move on here. MK Jeep says, F them, I'll go out in a blaze of glory. We all eventually die anyway. My family and I will die with full armor of God on. Plus ballistic vests and lots of rounds sent down. Okay, you know, I appreciate the sentiment, but that's not going to happen, my friend. They're going to send a little drone up to the window of your home. It's going to drill a little hole. It's going to fly into your house when you're sleeping. It's going to shoot little darts into your family and into you. And it's either going to put you asleep or it's going to cause you to stand up and walk out of the house while you're in total daze, because they're going to use a compound called scopolamine. It is a very powerful compound used to induce people into a hypnotic state. They're going to do what they're told. They use that in addition to some other compounds to induce people to walk out of their own homes into these vans or these military vehicles and then drive away in a hypnotic state. And if they don't do that, they just put you to sleep. So the drone is going to drill a little hole into your window, going to fly in while you're sleeping, very small drone, shoot you with these darts, put you to sleep, and then they're going to take you out. And they have different methods of doing it. Like I said, they use a compound called scopolamine and a few other compounds that will induce you to actually stand up and walk out. And it actually involves some an electronic device too, to induce that hypnotic state to tell you what to do. And you're going to walk right out. There's going to be a big military truck there, or it's just going to be a bus. It's going to look it could look innocuous. It could look like something nobody notices. Could just be a regular van, and you're going to walk into it with your family, and they're going to drive away, and they're going to take you to the underground base. So no, you're not going out in a blaze of glory. You're not going to die eventually. You're not going to die with your family with full armor of God on you. You're going to be taken in the underground base. You're going to be tortured. You're going to be put in a cage, and you're going to have your limbs removed, and different body parts are going to be removed. You have experiments done on you. You're going to be tortured. You're going to be mentally, physically, emotionally tortured for as long as they can do it. It's going to be hell on earth. That is their plan. I hope that answered your comment. Now, someone below that, the Great Awakening, said, "You won't die, you'll be taken underground base, kept alive, and tortured." Now, the Great Awakening is a colleague of mine, and he has been answering some individuals. We've been in communication and talking for a while, and he is providing some excellent information. You should listen to what he has to say in the comments section. I'm going to address some more comments here. Does anyone feel relaxed about Jade Hem? I don't. There's a reason they brought all that military equipment here, sent our troops out, but they're not done. That's more or less correct. Thou shalt be free said, there are these Black Awakening super soldiers that have been mind controlled to kill everyone. When their code is sent, all hell's going to break loose. That is correct. I don't care how long the videos are. I want to know everything. I have a long attention span for things that are important. Thou shalt be free said that. Thank you. You know, I'm gonna do that. We're just gonna talk and get the information out for the people that want to listen and want to hear. For the people that are deceived and don't care, I'm not here for you. One in the Spirit Ministry says, "Thank you for sharing. I really appreciate the work and the sacrifices. Thank you." Frankie J says, "What can we do to prepare and how much time do we have?" I'm going to give you a quiz and some advice toward the end of this video on how you can prepare. So be sure to listen to that. And how much time do we have? Well, as I instruct the friends of David Goldberg, this is about 2021 to 2025. The years 2021 to 2025. Those are the years you really need to think about. You do have a little bit of time left because they're not done with Project Pogo and they're not done with TTID. You do have some time. But 2021 to 2025 are the target dates that you really want to look at. If you're not out of the United States by then, it's game over for you. Kniblin said, create a torrent with files and info, then paste the magnet link on 4chan and watch it spread. They can't stop peer-to-peer torrent. He goes on to share a little more information. You know, that's not a bad idea. The problem with that is not enough people are going to see it, and they do have the ability to shut some of that down. So if the torrent goes out and people get the documents, they will be able to find out who those people are that have the documents, and they will be able to shut down their internet. They'll be able to go after them. They will be able to stop some of it, not all of it, but some of it. The problem with that is not enough people are going to see it. If you want to do this and WikiLeaks is involved, if you want to do this and a major YouTube channel with millions of subscribers wants to do it, then we can talk. But the idea you have here is good, but it's just not going to reach enough people quickly enough. I mean, and not enough people know about this. They turned this YouTube channel off, which could happen any second now. I mean, the friends of David Goldberg are worried about it. I'm worried about it. We don't know how much longer it's going to be around. It's over. It's over. So a torrent goes out and a few people grab the documents and they talk about it and they look at it. There's going to be a full-on effort to stamp that out by the agencies here in the United States. They're watching. They know. They will be able to stop a lot of that. Not all of it, but enough that nobody's really going to, it's not going to make the front page news if you think that's what's going to happen with that. Hope that answered your question. Let's move on. Bree View said, if guns are not going to help, then why are they so desperately trying to take them? They're not trying to take them. If they want to take the guns, they could have done it a long time ago. They want you to believe that the guns are going to protect you. They want you to believe that, oh, my guns are going to protect me. And that's a psychological operation been going a long time. Now, they wanted to take the guns a long time ago. Back in the 90s, they did want to take the guns until the technology progressed to such that the guns aren't going to be an issue for them. They don't care if every American is armed to the teeth. Right now, the gun issue is a right-left paradigm issue to keep you controlled and keep you believing that your guns are going to protect you. Why do they care about guns when they can send a little drone into your home, drill a little hole in your window, fly in when you're asleep, and shoot you with a dart that's going to cause you to stand up, walk out of your home into a van, and be taken down to an underground base? Why do they care about your guns? They don't. Do you understand what I'm telling you? They used to want to take the guns. The technology advanced into the 2000s and 2010s until they realized the guns are meaningless. The guns are as strong as sticks. And they realized we can conduct a psychological operation where we can get all the patriots and all the Christians believing that the guns are going to protect them. And that's what they've done. Now you believe that if you're armed to the teeth, that's somehow going to protect you. Slow them down a little bit. You're going to go out in a blaze of glory. That's what you believe. That's not what's going to happen. So they've got you totally mind controlled about the guns. And I support the Second Amendment. I love guns, but we're way beyond guns. We're way beyond that. The technology they have, guns are nothing. Guns aren't going to stop anything. And no, they're not trying to take them. If they wanted to take them, they would have. Have they taken the guns? Not even close. Not even close. You can buy a gun. You can get a gun. They haven't done anything to stop it. If anything, people have bought more guns. And that's what they wanted. All right, we're just going to move on to some more comments here. I'm going to try to answer more of your questions. I'm sorry, I'm just scrolling through this. How do we know this guy's real? What if it's an AI program running his account? Says Nigel Charles. Well, I guess you don't know. But if you're willing to believe it's an AI program running this video, then you're willing to believe everything I'm telling you is true. Let's move on. Ben Mosley said this would explain all the cloned Facebook accounts. Thanks for the info. That is correct. Facebook is, about half of all Facebook accounts are totally fake and controlled by AI at this point. Again, it's all part of testing. A lot of people take it literally and they say, well, they got a Facebook account over here and it's totally, look, there are many different operations going on at once. They're testing these things. Just because they've got some fake Facebook account over here doesn't mean that's part of the main operation. It means maybe it's a test, maybe it's something they're trying out. You can't take everything completely literally. They have all kinds of operations going on at once for different reasons, different agendas. Clone Facebook accounts are part of it, but the real goal is to take your real account, take you out of your home, put you in the underground base, and then continue to post on Facebook as if you never went anywhere. And I'm going to address some of that a little bit about the people that said, well, if they take you away, eventually your friends and family are going to realize that you're gone. That may be true. They have a contingency plan for everything, trust me. The goal is not to make it seem like you're gone forever. The goal is to make your disappearance not be investigated. Do you understand what I just said? Make it so your disappearance isn't investigated. So weeks and months go by and it looks like, well, he's still around and oh, he's still on Facebook and he posted something, so that law enforcement doesn't take it seriously, so friends don't take it seriously. So no one's really looking into the fact that you're gone. Now, that's really their goal. There's a bigger agenda at play, but that's the initial part of this. Make it so when they disappear all these people and take them away, it isn't a shock to the system. There aren't articles on the news, oh my God, 1 million people disappeared. They want to make it feel like, okay, nothing really happened. And it's working. Like I said, they already took 100,000 people are gone. They've already eliminated and removed 100,000 patriots and Christians from the United States of America and taken them underground or killed them, and nobody's talking about it because nobody knows, nobody's thinking about it, nobody notices because the AI program is working. All those people, these were test cases, all those people are gone. But they're still posting on all their social media, they're still making phone calls, and the algorithm, the automation algorithm is running. Where now they went on vacation. Now they have the flu. They don't want anyone coming over. All these excuses why they're not around. There's an automation algorithm script that's in place for all these people. And it runs. And it works. Even if you go over to their house and you knock on the door and you see that they're not home, does that prove that they're gone? No. Then you call law enforcement. Is law enforcement going to do anything? No. Because law enforcement has access to all the Facebooks. Law enforcement uses Facebook. Law enforcement looks at Facebook. And they're going to say, well, your friend is still on Facebook posting. He just posted a video of himself in Disneyland. Why would we go investigate that? We're already swamped with cases. We don't have time for this. So you can see how the AI program, the goal is to just make it so these disappearances don't cause a shock to the system. When they eliminate 12 million people, if they didn't have this AI in place, yeah, people are going to notice. It's going to be a story on the news. Wow, these people disappeared from the town. What's going on? The AI automated program is in place so that it's not a shock to the system. Nobody really notices. Nobody really makes a big deal about it. They're very, very smart. They're smarter than you. They're smarter than me. They know what they're doing. And yes, some people will figure it out. Some people will realize their friends are gone. But then other people won't, and there'll be arguments about it. One family member is going to realize, wow, my uncle's gone. Then another family member is going to come into that conversation and say, no, he's still here. Look at his Facebook account. What are you talking about? He's fine. This is what's going to happen, and there's going to be no resolve. Law enforcement won't be involved, and there's nothing you can do about it. I hope that explained a little better what this is about. All right, I'm going to move down here. This guy says, give regard to truth. He says, you're an asshole. You gave the people no hope, but instead told them they're going to die. Incorrect. And don't have money to get out. Incorrect. And go and chase this goose. Here's a hint because it's highly private. I can't tell you. You're an asshole. That's what he's saying about me. It's incorrect. I did give people hope. I didn't tell them they're going to die. I told them they're going to live. Unfortunately, they're going to be taken underground. And I told them they don't have money. A lot of people don't have money to get out. I'm trying to give you the pathway forward to help yourself. And no, I can't talk about it. I signed an agreement. I signed a non-disclosure agreement. You want me to break that and jeopardize my life and my family because you demanded I break a promise and a document that I signed? No. But I'll do my best to lead you down the path, and that's what I'm doing. And I've already done it for some people. I've already helped some people. Maybe not you because you're not paying attention and you're very negative, but I have already helped some people who are listening very carefully to what I'm saying. Let's move on here. This guy says, Nemesis Now says, patriots need to stay in the USA and fight the satanic New World Order. The more patriots who leave the USA, the less resistance. I want everyone to think about that. Don't leave. So this guy is completely deceived and deluded, dangerous. I mean, this is dangerous advice. No, we do not need to stay in the USA. The more patriots who leave the USA, the less resistance, he says. Nobody's leaving the USA right now because you're all deceived and you're all totally mind controlled right now. And you don't have to worry about that. They've got total control of the USA. Nobody's leaving. You do need to get out if you're listening to this. The answer is not to stay and fight. You're not going to be able to fight. That you cannot stop their technology, and the United States is not worth saving. If you think the United States, one of the most evil, corrupt countries on the face of the earth and human existence, you think it's worth saving. It's like saying, I'm going to go save Sodom and Gomorrah. You need to get out, save your family. Otherwise, you're looking at a future of being microchipped. If you're above ground, you're going to be microchipped and totally controlled. If you're lucky enough to be able to stay above ground and live and survive, you're going to be microchipped. If they take you underground, you're going to be tortured, have your limbs removed, and they're going to keep you alive for as long as they can and torture you. So that's your future if you stay in the control grid that is the United States. That is terrible advice. Let's move on. This guy says New Zealand's a socialist country. Why go there? Well, the goal here is to save your life, not argue over the political system of where we're going. New Zealand is a place where the elites have protected. They're going to keep it safe. It is their own little precious backyard. All right? So you may not agree with the political system there. That's socialist. It is a safe country. They don't have underground bases there. They don't have the control grid the way they have it in the United States. If you can get into New Zealand, you can find a little place to live. And I recommend, and I'll talk about it at the end of the video, going off grid anywhere you go is the goal and the plan. You just can't do it in the United States because they're going to find you. And I just want to reiterate for people, the control grid in the United States is the most advanced in human history. That's where they poured all their resources. They've got every imaginable form of surveillance going 24/7 right now in the United States. They know what you're doing. They know where you're at. They know what you're eating. They know what you're thinking. The level of control in the United States is beyond anything you can imagine. That's where they put their resources. They have not done that in some of these other countries. In some of these countries down in the southern hemisphere, that's their own playground. That's where they're going to go. They haven't poured those resources there. The control grid isn't there. The surveillance isn't there. The underground bases aren't there. The military isn't there. These are safe places. But the United States is the complete opposite of that. There is nowhere to hide in the United States. Nowhere. Parts of Canada, there are nowhere to hide in parts of Canada either. And Mexico, there are parts of Mexico that are safe, but not very many, and I'll talk about that too. I'm going to move on here. Oh, this lady Patricia says, dude, people like me and my family are dirt poor. We can't move out. Well, that's why I'm doing this. I'm trying to help you. You got to listen to what I'm trying to tell you. I signed a non-disclosure agreement. I'm not going to jeopardize my family and my financial well-being, but I am going to lead you in the right direction. You got to listen to what I'm telling you. I've already told you what to do, and some people have already followed that advice in the previous video, and they're going to be okay. But you got to listen. This person asked, Namanansaki, gotcha. He asked a couple different questions here. The QR code as an electronic tattoo is the mark. The QR code is part of the surveillance grid. I don't know if it's what you would call the mark of the beast, because they are going to put an electronic device in you. And the QR code is more of a barcode, but it is part of the plan. Yeah, it is. When did they program this catastrophic event? When I talk about the dates 2021 to 2025, I'm going to talk a little bit more about the events that they have planned. There's going to be an economic calamity that's going to come. There's going to be a crash. In terms of catastrophic natural events, I don't have a lot of information on that, but I can get more information from my military insider on that, because he alluded to that the last time I spoke to him, that they're doing something with the weather, that they can control some things, and he basically hinted at that they're going to implement some of that soon. So I'll get more information on that. The attempt against POTUS will happen in 2020. Will it be a success? Okay, he's talking about Trump. Are they going to do some kind of attempt against him in his life? I don't have any information on that. I can't answer a question I don't have information on. I do not have anything on that. How much time do we have? I'm giving you the timeline, 2021, 2025. That's your timeline. And if you're still in the U.S. in 2021, early 2021, you might have a chance to get out, but beyond that, you're not going anywhere. You will not be able to get out. Joan of Arc, I hope that answered your questions. Joan of Arc asked, what countries are safe to move to? New Zealand, parts of Australia, Tasmania, Chile, Argentina, Ecuador, some parts of Mexico and Central America. Colombia, Venezuela, Brazil are too unstable. I would not recommend going to those countries. Bolivia is okay, but the United States has made a move on Bolivia recently, and there was a coup, and I would recommend staying away from Bolivia. So that's the direction I would go. There are some Pacific islands that are safe, but that's the list I'd stick with right now. Great Awakening said, instructions received. Thank you, Tom, for God and Country. Great Awakening, somebody I've been in communication with, and he knows a lot too, and he could be helpful to everybody, because I asked him to start giving people some information too, and I think he started to do that. So look for his comments. I told him to put up some videos too, and I think he's going to do that. And once he does that, I'll direct everyone to his channel and then get people on board with what he's doing. He hasn't put anything up yet. I'm reading through the comments here. Pain is coming, God wins, patriots fight. Says sunshine after the storm. I wish it was that simple. It's not. RJL Harris says, what or who is BQ? The answer is in the notes, the video with the notes. I already told you to go watch that. I cannot expand any more on that. I've signed an agreement. I signed a non-disclosure agreement, and it affects my family. People want me to just break an agreement and break my promise. I'm not going to do that. I've done what I can. And if you listen, you'll go in the right direction. Sean says, enjoy life while you still have it. Love your family. Cherish every moment. The blink of an eye could be over. Well, that is true to an extent, but unfortunately, they have plans to ensure that it's not going to be over. They want to create hell on earth, and they figured out how to do it. And it is biblical, but the pastors and the Christians in America are totally deceiving their flock and leading them in the wrong direction. They're telling them, stay here. God's going to take you to heaven. You're going to be raptured. Even if you get killed, at least you go to heaven. Just horrible advice. Horrible advice. It's like saying, stay in Sodom and Gomorrah. Stay here in Sodom and Gomorrah and fight to save it. No. Why would they put them underground for torture? Yeah, that is exactly why they're going to do it. And they mentioned the rapture. The rapture is only going to take 144,000 according to the Bible. I don't know why anybody would rely on that. Most chances are you're a sinner and you are not one of the chosen ones. If you even believe in the rapture. Some people don't believe the rapture is even biblical. I personally do not believe in the rapture. I think the rapture is not biblical. I think it is a device used to deceive. I mean, if you're believing the rapture is going to save you, then you are completely deceived and deluded beyond any hope. You've got to get your mind right. It isn't that easy. You don't get a free ticket out of this. Read the Bible again. Linda Hurley said, all I can say is I can't do anything or afford to get out of the country. You can. I've given you the path. Do it. But if you're not going to listen or take that path, there's nothing I can do about it. Rena Martin said, what good is having all this information when most have no choice to just get up and move? Again, I've given you the path, the thing that saved me and my family and has helped other people. You've got to listen. And I understand a lot of people don't have the option, but I'm trying to help people here. You know, David did this for my family, and he helped us, and it's real. And we're out. We could not afford to leave before David showed us what we needed to do, and now I'm trying to show you what you need to do without jeopardizing it for myself. I mean, I signed a non-disclosure agreement. I made a promise. I will lose everything if I break that agreement. I've done everything I can within the NDA, the non-disclosure agreement, to tell you what to do. There are some loopholes in it. I can direct you to certain things, but I cannot come out and explicitly tell you, here, X, Y, Z, go do that. I can't do it. Then I will lose everything. I'm doing my best here, but you've got to listen and follow the directions I've given you. Janae P. asked, John Hay P. asked, hi, Tom, what do you think of COPPA? What is that really for? I think that refers to some YouTube thing with this. I know YouTube did something with the kids and trying to protect children. The whole, I don't even know anything about it, to be honest with you, I don't. Is the government killing ICE vehicles? I can't comment on that. I do not know. What is TTID program? I can't believe you'd even ask that. It was discussed in David's last video. I assume people that are listening to this channel know what's going on and have been watching David's videos. If you haven't been watching, you need to go watch his videos. Go watch the one that talks about Project Zyphr. The last words from David. It's right there on his channel for Friends of David Goldberg. What is TTID? Well, it's tag, track, and ID. We've been talking about it David talked about it. I've talked about it. I'm really surprised someone even asked that, because I assume you're informed. You got to go read the blog. You got to watch the videos on David's channel and get up to speed. Any idea why there's a statue of Moloch in the Vatican? Well, to the mere question answers itself. The Vatican is a satanic organization. The Catholic Church is satanic. That's why they have a statue of that nature. And I don't even know if there's a statue in the Vatican of the Moloch, but I assume there would be. It wouldn't surprise me at all. Is there a way to disable 5G? Well, there is, but you're going to be arrested. If you go out and try to take down one of these 5G towers in your neighborhood, they're going to know that you did it. They have the surveillance. They're going to see you do it. They have cameras. The 5G itself can even detect what you're doing. It's got capabilities beyond what they've told you. So if you go out and you take down a 5G tower, they're going to be showing up at your door the next day. You're going to be arrested. The only way to disable is you have to line your entire house with lead. Very difficult to do. You're still going to be exposed to it when you leave your home. If you lined your entire home with lead, it would be very expensive, costly, dangerous to do it. You could prevent it from getting into your home, but that's not very practical. Do you think that celebrities are cloned and into some kind of MK Ultra? I don't believe they're cloned. They are cloning programs. I don't think they're cloning celebrities. They don't have to. The celebrities already sold their souls to Satan. They've been promised things. They've been given wealth. They've been given everything on this earth they could ever want. Now, when they leave this earth, they will have nothing and they will be in hell. But that's the choice they made. They're all part of a program to carry out disinfo campaigns and mind control on you. Tom Hanks is a part of that. Next question, why human depopulation? Are we running out of land to live in or short on food and resources? To an extent, that's true. Really, the elites just want to preserve the earth for themselves. They do want to reduce the population, but not quite to the extent that has been suggested by some other YouTube channels out there. That's something I can't really comment on with total authority, because I'm not privy to information on it, but I don't believe they want to reduce the human population too drastically. Some, particularly the United States, but not too drastically. Because, well, there's reasons I want to get into, the economic reasons why that is. Are we running out of food, or we're not running out of food yet? Part of the reason we're not running out of food is they developed a way for bacteria to create food items like an orange. Probably half the oranges in the stores you buy, when you pick it up, you're holding something that was created with bacteria. It was not grown on a tree. They have the ability to produce food with bacteria very efficiently. It's something that is totally classified. No one really knows about it, but the food issue is not quite a problem yet. So when you're in the store, you need to look around you. You need to ask yourself, how is it possible all this food is here? How is it possible all this food is here? Well, it's not possible. Half the things you're looking at have been created in huge warehouses, huge vats of bacteria, and they're able to basically tell the bacteria, okay, create this cell, create this molecule, create this compound that will form into an orange. And they look just like an orange, they feel like an orange, they don't quite taste as good as a real orange. All this food they're creating with the bacteria is a little more bland and not quite as good, and doesn't even remotely have the health benefits. But about half the food you see in a grocery store is created in these huge warehouses with bacteria. It's not grown on a tree. It doesn't come from the land. And it is severely lacking in the nutrients that you need. And that's a big reason why cancer and a lot of health problems are becoming worse, particularly in the United States. This program is in the United States. If you go to South America, almost all the food is grown in the land. Almost all the food, as far as I know it, all of it is. Comes right out of the ground, and it is grown here. And it is very healthy. Because again, these programs have not been implemented down here. The elites, the people in power, the Satanists, they don't want to destroy the entire planet. They want to destroy the United States and a few other Western countries and implement their control grid. China, Europe, United States, Canada. That's their plan. But there's a lot of safe places on this planet that they've left alone. Where are the places they said that they kept people underground experimenting? Denver International Airport's a huge one, massive underground base under there. They have them all over the United States. I mean, most people kind of have an idea of where they are. You know, they got them out in California, Lancaster and China Lake and a couple of Air Force bases out there house massive underground bases. We're talking miles and miles in width and miles deep. They've been building them for decades. They can house millions of people because they have these cages set up that are very small, a few square feet, and they stuff your body in there. You can't move, you can't walk. They're going to remove your limbs anyway. They hook you up to this machine. They keep you alive. They torture you mentally, physically, and emotionally for as long as they can, and hundreds of years, thousands of years. They can put a lot of people in these bases because you're not going to be in a nice cell where you have a bed and you can walk around. Get that out of your mind real quick. You're going to be in a very small little cage. And they have room to put a lot of these people in there. And again, California, under Denver International Airport, they have a couple of huge ones in Wisconsin. Nobody knows about them at all, but there's a couple out in Wisconsin. They've got a couple in Montana. They're all over them. There's a ton of them. They've been working on it for decades. Let's move on. I would say, knowing the locations is important, but at the end of the day, there's so many of them, you'd be overwhelmed if you had a list of them. It's probably 120, and they're huge, and they're everywhere. Every state's got one. Hawaii's got them. And I've seen these lists. My military insider shared some of that with me about 2 years ago. Absolutely horrifying. Absolutely horrifying. Rena says they can't find us all. Yeah, they can. They know where every single American is at any given time. Unless you manage to find a cave somewhere that goes, 1,000 feet underground, maybe they can't find you. That's about your best bet. Because there's things in your body. Do you understand that there are things in your body? There are nano devices in your body. Do you understand that? It doesn't take much, but every American has consumed a nano device that has gone into their body and it is hidden, and they can use that to track you. And these devices are able to actually go to different parts of your body. So if one person is able to find out where it is, maybe he finds it in his pinky finger and says, I found the nano device in my pinky finger. As far as I know, nobody's even found them yet because they're so small, very hard to detect. They go to any part of your body. I mean, they're going to go anywhere. So that if one guy finds it in his pinky and he says, I found the nano device, I was able to get it out of there, go look at your pinky and get it out. No. These things implant themselves anywhere in your body. It could be anywhere. And they use those to track you. But they want a better system. These little devices are effective, but like I said, if you can go get into an underground cave or you can use a lead-lined room, they cannot track you. So when this economic calamity happens, they're going to have everybody lined up at military garrisons. They're going to be passing out rations. And to get the rations and the food, you're going to have to accept a chip. And the chip is going to be much more effective at tracking you than this nano device they've got in your body right now, because the nano device is just too small. There are some technical limitations. That's why they want everybody chipped. And the only way to do it is they're going to have an economic calamity, which is inevitable anyway, but they're planning it. There's going to be military garrisons in every city, every town, and you're going to go there to get food. It's going to be the only place to get food. And like I said, they've got this bacteria technology that they've created where they can produce a lot of food. And that's why they're getting rid of a lot of the farming in the United States. If you've noticed, farming in the United States is diminishing rapidly. How are they providing 350 million Americans with all that food? That's because they got these huge warehouses where they're growing the food with bacteria. And it looks real, but the taste is different and the nutrients are not there. They're going to be passing out food, and they're going to have plenty of food for Americans, but the only way to get it is going to be through these garrisons, these military outposts where they're going to be passing food out, and people are going to be okay. Not everybody's going to die, but if you don't accept the chip, well, you don't get food. And now there's no food growing anywhere. There's not going to be farmers markets. There's not going to be farmers farming food. They've been phasing that out so that when this happens, you don't have that option. Is that making sense? Is that clicking for you? I hope so, because that's a big part of this. The food distribution, how they're going to use that to control you. And if you open your eyes and you look around, you're going to realize, wow, wait a minute, he's kind of right. There is a lot less farming in the United States. There have been a lot of farmers that have been retiring, and the young people aren't carrying on in the farming business, and they're phasing a lot of this out. Where do we get all our food? Look around you. Do you see farms everywhere? No. But the grocery stores are full of food. Well, that food, a lot of it, is grown by bacteria in the huge warehouses they have. A lot of them are underground, too. And the technology is remarkable, because the food looks real, but it doesn't taste the same. So get ready for that. The only way to get food when this is all said and done is going to be through the military outposts and garrisons, and they're going to ask for you to be microchipped before you get that food. Most Americans are going to do it willingly because they're going to be hungry. So I'll move on here. Sherry Williams said, thank you for sharing. We were taking the steps, already following the instructions from the notes video that Tom talks about. We are looking at southern parts of Chile. We already know some people who move there and love it. They have a farm and they're mostly off-grid. It's a very safe place. Okay, that's wonderful to hear that Sherry is doing that. She's right on point. Cass Smith says there's nowhere to go. It's global. That is incorrect. That is incorrect. She says there's nowhere to go. Well, there are places to go. How in the world do we come up with the money to leave, says Fritz Cat Bar. I've given you the directions. If Sherry Williams can follow it, you can follow it. So I'm going to take a break. I've talked like crazy, and I want to just finish this up with a quiz and just kind of give you guys some direction here. Be right back. All right, that concludes Q&A. I want to just kind of go over some tips on how to save yourself and your family and your life. And I mean, I hope that you thought about your finances and where you're at and what you could do and can you leave and can you get out. You got to think about that. Unfortunately, most Americans can't get out. I couldn't get out. All right, I couldn't get out. I knew that. My military insider and source, who I've known for many, many years, he'd been telling me, Tom, you got to get out. You got to get your family out. You got to get out. And I'd always say to him, you know, I want to, but we got debts. We just don't have the net worth. Even if I sold everything, the money's going to run out eventually. We don't have the income. You know, it's something I've been thinking about for a long time. And I wanted to go to Eastern Washington, and I wanted to kind of bug out, but then I met David, and I saw the documents, and I talked to my military insider, and it all came together, and I said, wow, okay, that's not going to work. I can't stay here. They're going to target me. I'm going to probably at the top of the list of whoever they have a list of all these people. I'm definitely at the top, or was at one of the top of the lists. And I said, well, they're going to take us to the underground bases, they're going to torture us, and they're going to hook us up to these machines that can keep us alive for hundreds, thousands of years. That's pure hell. I don't want that to happen to my family. I don't want that to happen to my kids and my wife. It's just unconscionable to even think about. I said, I got to get out. And I talked to my military insider about it. I said, what if we get out? What if we get out? Won't they come after us? Won't they get us? And he said, no, they're not. They have certain spiritual rules that they follow, Tom, and that's what he said to me. The people who leave, the people who take action to leave, go to the Southern Hemisphere, they're going to leave them alone for the most part. Not all of them, but for the most part. There's spiritual rules that they follow, and it may sound really messed up. I mean, they're Satanists, right? They're evil. But they have these rules they follow. It's like 9/11. They told everybody before 9/11 what they were going to do. You know, informed people know what I'm talking about. Uninformed people don't know what I'm talking about, but people that are informed know exactly what I'm talking about. It's called white balance. It's something they believe in. And I pressed my military source on this and said, look, if I leave, they're still going to come and get me. He said, number one, this is your best chance. You got no other option. I mean, this is it. You leave. Or you stay here and you suffer. And he said, if you leave, you're going to fall under a certain protective order. They don't mess with the Americans who escape, basically. They're kind of leaving them alone. Doesn't mean they're going to leave them all alone. They can still come for me. But he told me that, and I said, you know, okay, I believe you. I don't have any other choice anyway. We got to get out. And then I met David, and we talked, and that's when he introduced me to a project that he's involved in. I've told people, you know, I've given people directions on what to do. Go watch the video with the notes. It's on this channel. It's on Friends of David Goldberg channel. Click on the videos. It's going to show it there. David's notes. Go watch it. That's going to give you the path that you need to follow. I've already helped people. People have already been following that path, and they are thankful, and it's working. Some people, unfortunately, just aren't smart enough to follow simple directions and do it, and I can't help those people. I've given them directions. If they can't follow it, there's nothing I can do. That's up to God. If you can't go click on a video that I tell you to click on and watch it for 5 minutes, I can't save you. You are unsavable. And you're going to go to the underground base and you're going to be tortured and you're going to suffer, and they're going to extract the adrenochrome out of you when they remove your limbs without anesthesia, and they hook you up to this machine in a little cage, and you're going to be alive for the next 1,000 years being tortured because they're Satanists. They want to create hell on earth, and they don't want to let you get to heaven. Does that make sense? They don't want to let you get there. Because you die, you get to go to heaven. They don't want to let you get there. But there's some people that can't be saved, and I'm sorry for their souls. I've done my best to do what I need to do. I can't. I've signed a non-disclosure agreement. I'm not going to jeopardize my family. If I came out and said, go X, Y, Z, go right here, that's a violation of the non-disclosure agreement I signed. I'm not going to ruin everything for myself because somebody can't follow instructions, so I've given you what I can give you. If you have that key, you will be okay, but you better act quick because time's running out. 2021 to 2025. Early 2021 is about the end. If you're not out of the United States by early 2021, maybe spring of 2021, game over, because I've been told the economic calamity, the economic collapse is planned for 2021. And it's going to be severe. It's going to be bread lines, food lines to the military garrisons where they're going to have you stamped with the chip. They're going to implant the chip. If you don't take the chip, you don't eat, you die. The problem is this. If you're above ground and you're one of those people who refuses the chip and you die, they've got a contingency for everything. You're not going to be in that line. If you're a Christian, if you're watching this video, if you know the truth, if you're an agnostic, an atheist who understands the Israel question, who knows the truth about 9/11, guess what? You're not going to be above ground. You're going to be one of the 12 to 15 million Americans who is below ground in the underground base. So don't you think you can count on being in that line, refusing the chip, and then maybe going off grid or something? Nice try. It's not going to work that way. I already talked about the food distribution program they've got in place. You're not going to be able to grow a garden. They're wiping out the farmers. They already can grow these Franken foods in a vat with bacteria. It's not good. It doesn't taste as good. You don't know that because you've been eating it for so long. You forgot what real food tastes like down here in South America, where the food is beautiful and rich and delicious and full of nutrients. You don't know what that's like anymore because you're totally used to this garbage that's in the supermarkets. It's a little more bland, less nutrients, but you think it's real. If you think you're going to get in that line and refuse the chip and then go walk off somewhere to your bug out area and grow some food, you are in fantasy land. You are dreaming. They have a surveillance apparatus. They know where every human beating heart is in the entire continental United States. They know where they are in Alaska, Hawaii, Western Europe, Canada, parts of Mexico. They can see your beating heart from the satellites. You think that you can hide? They've already got these little nano things in your body. They can track you with that. It's not very effective. They want to upgrade it and implant the chip in 340 million Americans. I've given you the path. You've got to get your finances in order. You've got to follow the steps I gave you, the clues, and you got to prepare. Or two things are going to happen. You're either going to take the chip and you basically accept the mark of the beast, or you're going underground and they're going to torture you and hook you up to the machine and take your limbs off, extract your adrenochrome, torture you in front of your family, rape your children in front of you. The worst things you can imagine while still being alive, that is what is going to happen. My military sources told me that. Some of it's in the documents. I've seen it with my own eyes. It is happening already. It's already happened to 100,000 Americans. I already told you they took away. They got the AI program. You don't even know they're gone. They're still posting on Facebook. They're still making these fake phone calls because the AI program can emulate them. They can emulate you. You can make a fake phone call. The program's going to make the phone call. Your mother, your dad, your son's going to think it's you because it sounds just like you. Now, that AI program is going to expand in this new world, this hellscape that they're creating, and it's going to have a whole new role. Right now, they're testing it out for this Project Zyphr to get rid of all these people, but the AI program is advancing, and they're going to create a whole new world where they have total control. They control all narratives, all political discourse with these AI creations online. Entire political movements will be created with an AI automated, fake, computerized human beings that look real, that look like they are holding rallies out in a field somewhere with 100 people. And you're going to go, wow, look at that rally that guy held. Like maybe a Bernie Sanders type. Maybe there's some Bernie Sanders guy that you think is great and you see these videos of him holding rallies. I really like him. He's speaking truth. Totally fake. It's all deep fake. The rally's fake, he's fake, but it looks real. It looks like he held a rally out in a cornfield in Iowa. And you think, wow, I'm going to follow him now. You're following a computer-generated, AI automated script that you think is real and you think he's some guy speaking for you. That's the world you're going to be in. They haven't gotten there yet, but they're getting damn close. And some of it's happening with Trump right now. And I'll get into that in my next video. My next video is going to be about the disinfo campaign. We're going to talk about Trump. We're going to talk about Israel. And we're going to talk about more things about moving down to the southern hemisphere and what that's about too. That's it for this video. Get on board. Get ready for the next video. Get a part of this. And turn off those damn disinfo channels and YouTubers that are lying to you and telling you to stay put like a sitting duck and try to save Sodom and Gomorrah. Who tell you you're going to be raptured, or tell you that, well, defend your homestead with your guns, and if you get killed, you go to heaven. That's what they tell you. Total fiction. Total deception. You think that Satan and the elites didn't have a contingency plan for any of that? You think that guns are going to stop them? Not even close. So that's it, and I'll have more coming. I'm sending more of these tapes to friends of David Goldberg. We'll get more videos up. I got to get it out. We don't have much time left.